Hello, everybody. Spirit of 420 here, because everything I do is so 420. I'm on 20 minutes early tonight because I may or may not have Joe Dirt on here with some lizard hunting. We'll see what happens. I know he was here. I had him a little while ago, but he gets shoddy service out at the truck stop. So it just depends on if he tunes back in or it gets back in here. Then we will bring him in for sure. Hope everybody's doing well. I myself have had, let's just say, one of my shittier days. It was one of those days where, you know, regardless of what I'm going through personally, nothing seemed to really go right for the other people around me who I care for as well. And let's just say, I'm not the only one affected by what's happening. But I did take the time last night to watch a new movie. I'm a big fan of whodunits. So what's the easiest way of saying that? Got to keep going, right? Even made a new, so y'all could see the logo better. So here's the Flick Dick logo. It would get hidden before, you know, you can see it in the, see, it would get hidden when all these, when it was a clear background, and you wouldn't really see that because of the dark poster. So I'll put the white on there. Thought that looked a little bit better. My wife likes it, so that's really all that matters. Not that y'all's opinion is not important, but if the wife likes it, well, you know the rule. And if y'all don't, well, look at the fuck up, because it's a pretty easy one. My father taught me that rule when I was younger. If the woman of the house is happy, then the house is happy. Period. If the woman of the house is unhappy, you guessed it, then the man is unhappy. Not teasing. Then the house is unhappy. But see how they run. And, you know, I can't remember who directed it or who wrote it, for that matter. Which is kind of funny because I usually remember those things if they're of interest. I will say this: it actually was. It was good. I was thoroughly impressed. So, and I think the person. All right, so it was directed by Tom George. For those of you who don't know Tom George, he hasn't done a lot. He's looked like he's a relatively. He's from the BBC. That's clearly obvious. And he's a relative newcomer. So, and then the person who wrote it is a guy named Mark Chappell. And I was looking real quick to see. Nothing really stands out. Funny enough, these two clearly have worked together on BBC comedy feeds. So that's where this is not... for sure, it is definitely comedic. It is a whodunit, so it has that the fact that there is a murder. But unlike, you know, your typical, what's funny is it's kind of based around Agatha Christie's Mousetrap. And just to give you the premise, it takes place in 1953, during the time at which time Mousetrap is now on its 100th. What do you call it? Viewing or whatever, right? So it's run 100 times in the playhouses, and they end up having a murder that is very similar to the one in the play. So one of the characters is Agatha Christie. One of the characters is, some of the characters are the people that, the actors of them. I don't know. I didn't look it up, and I'm curious to find out now, and I'll probably do some research. But I just watched it last night to make sure I could give an investigation. Oh, you know what? We're going to interrupt this because it looks like I do believe we have an opportunity for lizard hunting. Hold on a minute. Let me. Hey, what's up, Joe?
What up? What up?
Are we
Running around
actually,
like a madman.
are we going to actually be able to hunt for some lizards tonight?
Yep, I'm going solo.
Going solo.
Yeah, my partner's lollygagging around.
Can't have no lollygaggers.
Well, he partied too hard this past week and missed. I've been here all week by myself, man.
Oh, hell, dude.
Yeah, he partied a little bit too hard and dragging ass. Ain't got time for him.
We won't hold it against him for that, though.
Oh no, we all party, but
yeah, we all probably partied too hard. Just some of us partied a little bit too harder than others. Let's just say that.
Yeah. All right, let's see if I can get this camera flipped around here for you guys.
Why?
Camera.
I'm trying to make you the big one. Well, we'll just go with that for right now. I was trying to make you see how this one is where I'm the big one? I was trying to make you the. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me do that. No, that didn't do it. All right, we'll just go with this then. That's our best view right there. Nice, you got the camera turned around. All right, man. We're off.
Oh yeah, I remember last time.
Off and hunting. I love it.
If you're still on later, I have to come out here also, and I have to check these guys for reserves, and I have to knock on their cabs and piss them off and wake them up if they don't have their tickets out there.
Dude, that's crazy. It's like a whole nother life out there on the truck stop, isn't it?
Oh, it is, man. It is. Way different out here.
My uncle.
See, they even got fucking TVs in there. Fucking got a 60-inch TV in his damn cab.
Dude, you can't even get far enough back to watch a 60-inch TV in the fucking cab, man.
Some of these bro are big.
Oh, I know. Dude, my uncle, he's passed now. He died back in, I want to say around 2008, 2009. But he was a trucker, and he actually trucked for overnight. I know you've heard of those guys. And dude, half of his, he would come home from a 2.5 week haul, and it was always the same thing, dude. He would build something new to put in that fucking cab, whether it was portable CD player that was a total hookup with speed. It just got crazy. I mean, of course, you got to remember now when he was doing this shit. This is literally 1989. Right, 1990. In fact, I remember one of his. You'll love it. He bought a fucking badass case that you would use for typically a gun, but then fucking totally manufactured it with soft inside and everything, so that it held his what was literally the same as a fucking audio CD player, but he had it all fucking mounted in this thing, so he could just literally carry it like a briefcase into whichever truck he got, because he didn't have his own truck. He drove whatever truck they assigned him.
Yeah. We got somebody out here standing.
Here we go.
Oh, it looks like he bugging. How's it going, Chief?
Hey, fucking with me, fucking this shit in the fucking town, and I fucking run their fucking ass out of here, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I found a fucking lab, and if they don't get it the fuck on, I'm gonna burn it up.
Oh boy.
About 20 fucking bucks dope. They got about 30 minutes paying, get the fuck on, it's over. Sorry, guys.
This is the truck life, man. But watch out for them lot lizards. They're out here, man. So he's tweaked out of his fucking mind. He's chasing animals in the woods.
Holy shit, dude. That's the you got tweakers, you got lot lizards, and you got truckers all in one place.
Yeah. See if I can play this somewhere you can still see out there. All right, we're gonna have to go kind of dark for a minute. I gotta put gloves on and take the trash out. Did you drop it in UGC to let everybody know we're live right now?
I did not, but let me do that real quick since you reminded me.
I did it earlier today, but I didn't put it in general. I didn't know how to put it in there without, you know what I mean. People could just come in and yeah.
Well, what I'm putting in there, I'm just gonna put the view link in the general, so they.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know which one. I didn't know which one was the view link. I did share it with a guy, Bodie Uncuts. He's a really cool guy out in Cali. I don't know if he'll drop in. He might. He has a live stream always going. So
you got a couple of chats. Oh, that's Strange Bird. Hey, Strange Bird.
What's up, my man?
All right, let's go to. Hey, we're just having fun. What's going on here? All right. Trying to go to general real quick and drop it in there.
All right. Damn, this fucker's full. See where that guy went. I'm fucking stabbing me or some shit. He ain't over there no more. He disappeared. Oh, there he goes. He's walking the road now with his bicycle.
That's not the one I want to delete. How do I delete? I put the wrong link in. I put the wrong link in. That's hysterical.
Yeah, this is the first tweaker I've ran to back here. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, of course it would happen tonight.
Yeah, fucking of course. Oh well, they can. As long as he's fucking with other people, not fucking with me, I'm fair. Like, I have no problem with people and their personas and stuff, brother. But after my dad's episode and living that life for so long and being exposed to it, man, that's my trigger. That's my PTSD.
Which one? Which one is your trigger? I'm sorry, I was typing and I missed some of it. What's your trigger?
People relapsing or withdrawing off of meth.
Meth. So meth in general, really, like tweakers in general.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I can be around them, but whenever they are high strung gone, brother, man.
Yeah, dude. Not, you know what's funny, man, is so I go out on sexcapades. I'm sure you've heard me talk about that, right?
Yeah.
And I go out and have my fun. My wife and I are in an open marriage.
Yeah.
And dude, half the time, man, when you end up like, I know this sounds fucked up, but half the time you do like a date online anymore, like for a casual encounter, it's some fucking people tweaked out, dude. They're just tweaked out and horny. And you can always tell, like you can always tell. And you're like, you're on drugs? They're like, no. I'm like, dude, come on. Yeah. Not even like, and I get that it's a trigger. So if you want me to stop talking about it, I will.
Oh, no.
I can't stand the way that.
Yeah, I'm outside. There's a lot of trash back there too, man. If you can get out here to me.
Oh, you should be. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know if he heard me or not. Where I'm at, I don't have good reception. But continue on. I can hear you, brother.
No, I was just saying, like, one of the behaviors, I would prefer hanging out with someone geeking off of cocaine than tweaking off of meth. It's such a different energy.
Yeah.
Put it that way. And I mean, and I've been around both. And the people that are tweaking, like, they're so on edge, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're so on edge, and every little thing is upsetting. And dude, I mean, I had my time smoking rock, and it was never like that.
Yeah.
Like,
see,
honestly,
that's the other thing, man. I sold crack for so many fucking years, man. I never used it, right. But I can deal with a crackhead more than I can deal with a tweaker, bro.
Right. You get my. You clearly understand what I'm saying. The energy of tweaking is different than the energy of geeking. Like, it's why they gave it a different name, because you're not geeking when you come down off of meth,
Yep.
And it's, oh God, dude, I'll tell you, man, the shit that really irritates me is just it's almost, it doesn't matter who it is, dude. I don't care who it is. They all start stuttering. They all start the same fucking thing.
Yep. Well, it's like the guy I'm working with tonight, man. Not to hurt the poor guy, but he goes and says, yeah, I've been up for 3 days. I'm like, well, did you party? He's like, no, I didn't party. I'm like, yeah, okay, dude.
Yeah, who does, dude? In my day, if I told you I'd been up for 3 days, the only difference was what drug I was taking. And what I mean by that is back in the day, it was LSD for me that I would just keep eating tabs of acid.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to join you.
You got something with you?
What? You talking to the dirty Joe here?
I mean, I kind of figured you did. I mean, I should assume, but I didn't want to make an ass out of such a badass dude like yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I brought the 10 with me tonight. I got it.
Oh, nice.
Live rosin cart, and then I got my peace pipe I keep in the truck, and then for worst case scenario, I got a dugout. That's in the other pocket.
You know what's funny? Speaking of dugouts, and don't worry, don't even apologize. But that reminds me, I was looking through my son's stuff, and I found the dugout that I had gifted to him. So,
dude,
I got
you
my
better
dugout
fucking
back.
carry that from day on.
Yeah,
You
dude,
better have that with you, bro. Is it a wood one or what?
Yeah, no,
what is it?
It's your original wooden dugout. And he liked. What's funny is when I gave it to him, he's like, "Oh, I like this," because you can either get the brass bat or you can get the cigarette. And I always got the cigarette that way. I even gave it to him. I was like, "Here, take this. That way, when you're at work, you can literally go out back and look like you're smoking a cigarette, and no one will know the difference as long as you're not too close."
Yeah. Now, with that being a wood case, the reason why I'm asking, you take a picture of your boy, and you get it shellacked on there, dude. Get it shellacked over it.
Yep. So see that?
Hang on just a second. I got my hands in the trash
Oh,
bag.
you're good. You're good. Let me know when you're back.
Yep. What's up?
So this right here, that's my boy. That stays in my pocket. What's cool is
Y'all did have him cremated?
Yeah, I had him cremated. So
okay. So I had my father cremated.
And I just
very nice, my man.
All through the night, dude. And people probably think that's strange and weird, but it is what it is. So this was his. So this is dude, that's a fucking pill jar that I got.
Yeah.
That I bought. That's a stainless steel. Get this, you're gonna get what I mean when I say it was expensive, because I paid $25 for it in 1994.
Wow.
Like I literally bought it at like a fucking luggage place, right? So it's this badass pill, waterproof, the whole deal. And then this is his that's the keychain that he had on his bike keys.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I've got the jewelry that I pulled out of my father when he blew up in his meth lab.
Yep.
I don't know if you're aware I know you get lots of stories and lots of visitors. My father didn't actually pass away in the lab. I saved him. I kept him from dying. I kept him from going to prison for life. A lot of stuff went on that night. He actually passed away in a kayaking accident whenever he went off visiting someone that was struggling with drugs. He went to go see them. He did this all the time, like spirit. He did what you do, but he got on there for people to come in and vent and socialize with someone that's really lived it and stuff. And anyways, long story short, he was a different person when he left, man. Right. He was a completely different person. I honest to God, I had a father for 28 years. I had a father. Until I was 30, I had 4 years of a dad, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I the one thing I'll say, obviously, that how do I say? First of all, part of that is incredible. Part of that sucks, right?
Yeah.
The fact that you didn't get longer, no different than the way that, quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me. Whenever you're robbed, you're robbed. And at 22, he had so much living to do. In the reality that I probably had 25, 30 years myself,
Yeah.
But, the beautiful part is that clearly he had turned his life around to be something that you were proud of and wanted to be a part of his life. So even though you didn't get more time, to me, it makes the time you got incredibly powerful and meaningful,
Oh, it really is, man. Like when I talk on my dad's, purpose and his life here and everything, I don't have a lot of great stories, but the stories I do have from when he was here the last few years, like you said, man, he made such an imprint that the Lord's like, all right, I let you cheat life once, you ain't cheating it again.
No,
it's coming up here. You got a purpose.
Look at it this way. Here, I look at it. It just hit me, dude. And maybe this sounds crazy, but when thoughts hit me, I just kind of fucking speak them now. But the way that I see the way I see what happened is, God gave you all an extra 4 years, because had you not saved him, or let's put it this way, it's the fact that it was you. Any other situation, he probably would have perished that night, but it was you that saved him, and you saved more than him. It sounds like you had a part in saving his soul.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I definitely did. He completely changed when he left from there.
And put it so then, if that's the fact, then absolutely you got to know this. that was a fucking reward, because reality, and the way I see it, is in another timeline, he was done that night, and you would have been robbed of even having a dad for 4 years. What the fuck are you doing? I'm about to mute your ass.
Who, me? What's going on? Is the wind blowing in it?
Oh my God. I had to mute you for a minute, just for a minute.
All right, am I good now?
Okay, that's better. Dude, the
wind caught me.
Dude, I can't even, it was like, I can't even imagine. I'm trying to think of something. It sounded like metal balls falling on a tin roof. That's what it fucking sounded like. I kid you not. Almost at machine gun speed. Like, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, no, to me, I see those 4 years, and I mean, you know who I am, Joe, so I don't mean to offend. I just look at things from a different angle. I'm even doing that with my son, right? But I see that as a reward. Y'all were rewarded that time for him.
Oh, very much, man. Very much so.
Like you said, for a minute while I say this, like you said, you know, the simple reality is, not only was he a different person, but you got to learn so much in that short time, because he was the person that he was, and he was being a dad rather than just your father. You got to learn so much more in those 4 years, probably a plethora in comparison to what you would have learned before. Yeah.
Well, it's like my brother. He was locked up for 9 years. He was locked up while my dad had his accident. He was locked up when my dad passed away. After my dad's accident, it was within 8 years. It was an 8 years time frame that I had him blow up in a meth lab and then die in a kayaking accident. I told my brother, like, me and my brother, I've always loved my brother, but I never agreed with him. Like, he was just not a bright crayon. but I've always been there for him, always will be. But I told him, I said, you know, when we sit down and talk, Josh, I want to sit down and talk to you about your dad. He's like, no, I don't want to hear about him. I said, no, Josh, I want you to know who your dad really was. Like, he wasn't just my father before he died, Josh. Like, he was calling me, he was checking on me, he's had conversations with me. I mean, he was being a dad. Like, right, like he was truly interested in trying to be a part of your life. Yep. And I want him to know that, because he experienced the same thing I did over the years. You know, my dad always partying, running here and there, saying he'll do this and do that and don't do it. But yeah, it's something I want to give to him, because I know he didn't get to see it. He didn't get to see my dad. That was literally where I was going. Was the reality is, your father said it to you, which, you know, when it comes to family, the fact is, if somebody says it in your family, you know, father to son, and then that son says it to another sibling, a brother, sister, even, it's the same fucking message. And you know that, you know, there might be a little bit lost in translation. Who knows? I doubt it. You know, I just know how my family is. We're going to get the same message across. We might not use the same words, but the tone and what was trying to be explained and what was trying to be conveyed will be moved on. Mm-hmm. So I think that, you know, it's not you being a father to your brother, but it is you giving that father advice and that father pass on. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know my dad was really appreciative, you know, to do that, because he, like I said, my brother was in prison. I mean, my dad went to go see him. Don't get me wrong. He went and visited him and stuff when he was in jail in Florida, but it's not the same as what I was out here with, you know. That feeling I got, that reward, it balances everything. My night with my dad, bro, it literally, I had my father running around the house with skin hanging off of him. You know, freaking, he's yelling, I'm a worthless piece of shit. His life's over, because I called the ambulance and stuff. Because he's about to fucking die. Like, he's got chemical burns and shit. I had to, like, force him in the shower. Oh, man, dude. But he, after that night, dude, it was hard for me to swallow, you know, because I'm sitting there trying to help my dad, and he's running around saying I'm a worthless piece of shit, ruined his life. For him to come out of... It changed. You know, there was
Just like what I'm going through right now, dude. I mean, it's hell on earth, but I know that there is a better day that is a direct result of my son dying. You know, so
Yeah. Well,
and all I mean by you have to go through the bad to get to the good.
Very true, my man.
Oh, sorry, dude. Give me a second. Whatever's going on over there, it's so loud in my ear. I can imagine that it's probably loud for the viewers. So I just had to mute you for a second.
All right, we good. That was a truck running. He's got his freaking his reefer running on the back.
Got you. Holy shit.
But yeah, once I get done with this last run, we're gonna look for some lot lizards, guys. I just got this last little bit of trash. I didn't expect it to be this bad out here, man.
You actually had some work to do.
Yeah, I usually don't have trash in these motherfuckers, man. It's crazy. The truck drivers will usually use the ones up at the building, but no, they've been using these out here.
They're just getting lazy on you.
Yeah. Well, the other part about my dad's thing I was getting at was the jewelry thing. My daughter has my dad's it was a silver arrowhead that he was wearing, and it was, got into him pretty bad and stuff, and I pulled it out of him. My daughter wears it all the time. All the time she wears that necklace. Get this, I shit you not. She doesn't know that necklace was on my dad at that time. She has no idea. She just knows it belonged to her. She cares when she wears that she feels closer to me. She said that, not me.
Right. No,
that's
awesome.
crazy. That is crazy, bro.
Well, dude, I mean,
man.
Dude, I know you've heard some of it, but I mean, like the amount of what's the word? The amount of signs that I have gotten that are like some people, I'm sure, could probably take every single thing I say and tell me that it's a coincidence. But some of them, hold on, man. Some of them are just like, dude, I don't, first of all, I don't believe in coincidence. So when I see like a ton of them all happening in one, like from one incident, you just like, and my whole point is that my son's spirit is extremely strong. I absolutely feel it. All the people who are, how do I say, it's by no coincidence, Joe, that the people that are in a loving place and have some kind of spirituality are seeing those signs. The people that do not and are in a bad place are not seeing those signs. But that, again, I used to be one of the latter, and I'll tell you, when you're not in a good place and all you are is angry at the world and you think the world is just out to get you, you don't see any of the good things or any of the indicators that this too shall pass. You know what I mean? That a better day is coming.
And I was like that, man. I was like that when I got into UGC, man. When I met these fellas, when I met Sin can tell you about stories about me, man. I'd sit in an igloo with a fan going and stuff because the only way I felt safe in my own home.
Yeah, did you ever see the movie Rush?
I think I've seen some of it.
So there's a scene in that movie is about undercover cops, a couple, man and woman, who get so deep. And part of the way they get so deep is they're fucking doing all the drugs, shooting, heroin, snorting coke. They're in deep, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I saw that movie when it first came out, and that was like, probably, I think I was like 20, maybe 21, something like that. And believe it or not, dude, when I ended up being 25, right before I got busted and finally quit doing drugs or quit dealing drugs.
Yeah.
I was literally sitting in my house in my underwear with my fucking gun, with a pistol in hand, just sitting there in the corner, determined. I was absolutely determined that there were Mexicans underneath my house and that they were coming to kill me.
Oh, man.
I was totally flipped out. But now you got to understand, by that time, I was making about on a daily, on just my commercial bud, not even because the commercial we did every day, and the kind bud we grew, so that was harvested, every 2 months. But really, actually, it was harvested. I take that back. It was harvested every 2 weeks, but it's a long story because it was staggered. Either way, I was making, just on commercial, I was making $1,700 a day, and I was spending roughly $700 to $800 a day on crack. And that's why I was all paranoid sitting in my fucking underwear. So when I tell you, and I'm telling you, that's about as deep into negativity as you can get. Not only did I think these Mexicans were out to get me, but I was pretty convinced that the whole world was out to get me, that nobody, like everybody was my enemy. Nothing was ever going to work out for me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Pity pot paranoia. Like that's the triple P right there. Pity pot paranoia.
See, I went that road on cocaine. I went to Tony Montana style.
I mean, dude, there's not a whole lot of difference. You're snorting.
Nope, there ain't much difference. Yeah, and I did the Tony Montana style.
I was still snorting. I just like my choice was to buy a fucking, I had a dealer, and I would just get a fucking ounce cookie from him. That was, and I'd smoke on that for 3 or 4 days and fucking get it. So, don't get me wrong though, my partner in crime, and I won't say his name, that way he stays protected. But him and his brother were big fucking cokeheads. They came from, they moved up here from the Keys, right? So they would get some fucking just excellent coke. And I'm telling you, dude, when they did it, when they would get some, we would do it hard. It would be stupid, dude. I tried to tell someone the other day, I was like, we would lay out an 8-ball in a spiral, and there would be 5 of us. Me, these 2 brothers, this other dude, and then a guy that we called fucking Megatron, who literally was like a living embodiment of Debo, right? Oh, I'm not kidding, dude. This dude was fucking massive. He's the one that busted me. But that's go watch the video. He was undercover working for the DEA and the GBI when this particular incident happened. But like, this is just one of many. But we did put that 8-ball out on a fucking spiral, passed it around 5 guys one time, and it was gone. And I try to explain that to people. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, dude. We literally went and got another 8-ball before the hour was up because we knew we were going to be geeking hard. We're like, all right, man. As soon as we were done, we were like, all right, dude, we need to get another 8-ball here in the next hour, or this is really going to suck.
Yep. That's like back home, man. I had times where I had some yay that was so good that my eye socket, I swore my eyeball fell out of my head. Like I've been there, man. I've had it so bad. Like I said, I'd be in my closet with an aired up mattress because I thought everybody was after me.
Dude, our breakfast. So you'll love this. I told you. So we had a commercial business 6 days a week, which was Monday through Saturday. My partner and I would get up. We'd go eat breakfast. Breakfast was literally, dude, we thought we were like gangsters, except we're dressed in cutoff shorts, tank tops, and flip flops. But we'll go to a fucking little, a little breakfast place and get bagels and cream cheese and drink coffee, right? With like just wads of cash. Then we would jump in the car. Our mule would follow us, which was his brother. But before we would go, we would stop and gas up because we had to go to Atlanta. This was every day, right? That Atlanta trip was an hour and 15 trip. Oh, damn, dude. Stop what you're doing. Killing me.
Hang on.
Nope.
Is that better?
I'm gonna mute you for a minute. All right, let's see if it's better. All right, that's cool. Perfect. Okay. So we would stop and gas up, dude. And when we stopped and gassed up, I kid you not, we would pull out whatever he had, which was usually at least like 1.5 grams to a couple grams. We'd pour that out and split it into what we call pyramids. And fucking, these were like anywhere between a 3/4 to a full gram. Wow. Holy shit, dude. If you had any idea how loud that was in my ear.
I've got my hand cupped around my ear to try to block it for you.
I believe you. But no, yeah, dude, those were the days. And that, like, we would do that because that would, and you'll get exactly what I'm saying. We would be high as fucking shit all the way there and then we were geeking quite nicely because we would just smoke the fuck up all the way back.
Yeah.
So by the time we got back, you know, we'd deal out our stuff, and then I'd go get some crack, and he'd go and do his own thing.
Yep.
Yeah, but Ye was his. That was his, and I was the smoker. I've always been a smoker.
But I lost a bag of trash somewhere. Oh well, I'll find it.
So here's.
That's how much I had back there, man.
Holy
it was piled
shit.
up. I lost the bag. It was higher. I don't know where it is.
They'll find it. Somebody will find it. So if you see here, Strange Bird said, "Strange only to the stranger. Danger."
That's funny.
Nice one, Bird.
Yeah, it's been a busy week though, man. Between here and my city job, I've been having to get ACs and stuff ready for winter time for the older folks, you know, all that good stuff.
It's a truck stop, so you still get like RVs and stuff like that through there too, don't you?
Yeah. But see, I also work for my city that I live in. During the day, I work for the city. I do maintenance for them.
Ah, okay. All right.
And then right now, I also just got my mother-in-law back from the nursing home that broke both of her hips and fractured her elbow.
Holy shit.
So I'm caring for her during the day in between my day job, and then I come here at night. And I have a huge ass garden going.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm a busy fella right now.
Yeah, but you know, I actually am very, very similar in that way, and I found that particularly during times like this, particularly, right, the more work I can pile on to me, the better. That way the breakdowns are fewer and far between, and I don't have as much time to concentrate on the loss, but just concentrate on what I'm doing at hand, you know?
Yeah, it helps you substitute the moment. I get it.
It does. I mean, even just doing the show. Like, what's funny is when I'm doing the show and I talk about him, I don't break down. Now, if I'm out in public and someone, you know, that I haven't seen yet, and I have to tell for the first time, and I tell them I'm fucking turned to shit.
Yep. I feel you, my man.
It's like it all hits you again, you know?
Yeah. There's certain times when I've spoke about my dad to people, and I get really, really touched when I'm talking to them. King in here was one of them. When I spoke on my dad to him, I told him my story. He was the first one in here to hear it. He got to see old Joe Dirt with emotion. He's the only one to see old Joe Dirt get all mushy.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I'm a very unfiltered, emotional kind of guy. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a hard ass, but I don't express emotions very much.
Well, I tell you this, and I won't you know, put any undue pressure on you, but if we do what we were talking about yesterday, come December, then there's a very good chance that if you and I have that actual conversation, and you're not running around out here on the lot, very good chance that both of us might show a little emotion that night.
Oh yeah, man. There's going to be a lot of doors open up that I haven't peeked in a long time. That I know some people, and there's going to be some people in your channel that's going to be really moved by it, man. And to see that there is truthfully hope out there for individuals that's been down that road. I'm living fucking proof of it, man.
So am I.
I've done it all.
So, dude,
I've been in a murder case, been in all that type of shit.
I didn't have a murder case, but let's just put it this way, dude. I was a drug trafficker in Georgia in the fucking 90s. Like, how I have tried to explain to people, and the older I get, Joe, the more it dawns on me just what a fucking miracle my life is.
Mm-hmm. Same here, man. When I see these people still struggling and stuff, bro, it hurts me. It really hurts me. But I step back and like, that could have been me. That could have fucking been me.
And I want to point out.
I mean?
No, I want to point out to the viewers, anybody who's listening, and if I'm wrong, you will correct me. But when you say struggling, what I hear is we're not talking about life struggles. We're talking about spiritual struggles and the reality of whether you're on this side of it or whether you're on this side. Because
Exactly.
if you are spiritually not struggling, then when your life has struggles like right now that I'm going through, that's, the kind of help that I need is just reassurance. It's not the same help that someone who's still in the fucking shit. You know what I mean? They're still in a fucking cave.
Yep.
And I know you know what I'm talking about, dude. Like they don't, there's no hope,
Very true, my man. Let's take one more drag before I got to bounce. I'm gonna have to run back in here for the night and get other things wrapped up, my man.
Are you gonna you're gonna run around one more time, or are you taking off?
I possibly will be back out here. It'll be about 9:30, so about another 30 minutes if you're still on the show.
If I'm still on,
I'll hop.
Yep. Just hit the. If I probably won't, just between you and me, Joe. But hit the link, and if I'm in here, then we'll do it. It depends on how much I end up dragging on here in a minute.
Well, you don't get too deep, man. You keep that smile. I love seeing that smile.
Hey, man,
and big old rosy red cheeks. I love them rosy red cheeks.
Thank you, man. Now you're gonna make me blush.
Hey, you have a wonderful night. Thanks for inviting me, and I'm glad I got to get a couple laughs for you guys.
Have a blessed night and stay lifted, brother.
We'll do, my man. Do the same.
We'll get a lizard soon enough, man. It'll happen.
Oh yeah, we'll have one. Hopefully she's good looking too.
There we go. By the way, here we go. Grizz just got in here saying love to both of you, giving some love. So Grizz was in.
Appreciate you, brother, man. Yeah, I see him now. I'm looking at the screen. I can see him when they pop up. Awesome. Awesome. All right, my man. Spread the love. See ya.
You got it. Peace. Oh, wow. All right. So one thing I'm going to do, I got to tell you this. Oh, now that I don't have to have that in my ear, y'all don't understand, and I get that. That's fine. But it literally, when I have that in my ear, I'm also hearing myself the whole time, which is just nerve-wracking to be talking to someone. And it also amplifies like everything that I hear. So there we go. I feel like I'm undressing in front of you guys. Oh, I feel naked. Stop. Nice to see you, Grizz. Glad you could stop by. So obviously I paused for the attempted hunt at a lizard, which we didn't get one tonight, but like I say, we'll end up getting a lizard before it's all over. So we're going to go back to Dick Flick. Oh, excuse me, Flick Dick. And finish where we left off. In the movie that we are discussing is See How They Run. And what was I going to do? There was something I was going to do. It doesn't matter. So we'll just move on to it. I'll go ahead and say this. My score for it is a strong 7.7. I almost want to give it I want to give it a little bit higher, but no, I'll stay 77. I said 7.7. Excuse me. I don't know why I said that. 77 out of 100. That's what I meant to say. I actually just had that conversation about points earlier that I don't do that. That's so funny that I would say that. So anywho, 77 out of 100. To come back to it, where I left off, takes place in 1953. It centers around Agatha Christie's Mousetrap that is currently a play. And from the movie, what they say is that's still running today. I want to look up and see how many of these things are actually true. And I don't think I'm giving anything away here because it's literally from the first moment of the movie, right? So you're going to know this right away. One of the cool things, if you feel like it, then go ahead. Let me say possible spoiler alert. Earmuffs, right? 3, 2, 1. It's narrated by the dead, which I thought was awesome. You don't see that very often. And from the very beginning, the person narrating the film is the victim that indeed is killed, and you're trying to figure out who did it, right? So I thought that was really cool. I think I've seen that done once before. I can't remember what film it was, but that was one of the cooler things about the film. That, and it did, what kind of took away from it for me was where films will do this, where in the film they're telling you essentially what's going to happen in a scene later on, and you know it's blatant foreshadowing. So I don't like blatant foreshadowing because then that kind of takes away the surprise of when it actually happens. So that's why I gave some deductions. You know, the writing was good though. The acting was good. There was some let's just say this, there was, I want to say approximately 11, 12 main characters because you had a full slew of characters. And they were, it was similar to like Knives Out. And what I mean by that is that's another whodunit with a big, and there's a certain formula that whodunits follow. So they generally have an ensemble cast because there's a big group of people that it could be that all hated the one fucking dude or chick, whoever that might be. And in that sense, this was no different. There was a couple of those characters that could have been acted better. So, but it wasn't horrible. They weren't so bad that they were the weakest link. I mean, 77 is pretty strong in my opinion, right? I'll put it to you like this. In concerns of flick dick standards, to me, anything that's over a 75 is a must see, right? Anything in the 90s is like, you need to make sure you go and see it right now. So to give you one of those 90s, since this wasn't those, this one is free though. If you have HBO Max, I shouldn't say free. It's free if you have HBO Max. Otherwise, you go and see it in the theaters like everybody else. But back to the point. Man Bites Dog. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who told me to go see, he told me to not go, but to check out a movie called Killer of Sheep, which is an older film. And Man Bites Dog is an older film too, because Man Bites Dog is, I want to say, maybe 92, 93, somewhere in there, maybe 94. It might have come out when I was 22, funny enough. Man Bites Dog is an absolute classic. It's a fucked up dark comedy. And if you've ever seen What We Do in the Shadows, which is another well over in the 90s, I won't give scores on those because I'm probably going to do an investigation soon of some old movies, like a trio of old ones. And I think I'll include those too, because those, What We Do in the Shadows came out more recently, but it is the same format. It's a comical look at vampires where you have a group of documentary people that follow vampires, and they're doing a documentary on this fucking house of vampires, right? So they see killings and slayings and all that shit, but it's very fucking funny. Man Bites Dog is a documentary crew, 3-man crew that follows a fucking serial killer, and it's fucking tweaked out and it's hysterical. And the best part about this film, first of all, it's old. Secondly, it's black and white. But the best part about it is these fucking dudes that made it, the 4 guys essentially that star in it, which is the killer and the 3-man crew. This was their final project for film school over in France. That's another thing too. It is a French movie, so it's a subtitle. You got to read it. But it's so fucking worth it. Man Bites Dog. Trust me. Watch it. I'll do an investigation on it in the future. Here's, that's not a problem, but I don't want to give anything away. I want to tell you should see it, and then maybe hear some people say, yeah, I fucking saw that shit. So next on the agenda, there really wasn't a next, so I'll just take a moment to say, I know that life is going to become something different. It already has. Let me be more specific. Life is never going to go back to what it was because it can't. So what was once normal will no longer be normal. Therefore, what I'm doing and what I'm in the middle of trying to create and get to is a new normal. And it's not easy. And it's not just because of what happened. Anybody has had any kind of loss like this, there's this part of you, and I know it has to do with what's called the survivor guilt, right? But this part of you that's like, you're not allowed to be happy anymore. And that's just simply not the truth. Not only is it not the truth, it's not what. Hey, what's up? I missed one here. Yeah, it is. But then again, so is fucking Netflix. It's hit or miss. Nice to see you in here, Boo. Nice to have you back. And Grizz, what did you say down here? What was this? Oh, of course, dude. Absolute. You know, that group, and I'll probably forget what the fuck I was saying, but I'd rather talk to you guys anyway. That group of folks that made A Fish Called Wanda made another movie that was actually, it was really funny. It didn't do as well, and I will say it's not equal. Okay, it's definitely not equal. Fish Called Wanda is like a 90 for me all day long, solid 90, almost maybe even more. But they did a movie, that same group of people, called Fierce Creatures, and I give that's a solid 80. Okay, it's not Fish Called Wanda, but it's fucking hysterical. And Kevin Kline actually plays a couple of characters in that, which makes that one a little different, a little more funny, if you will. But you know, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I actually remembered. Wow, fucking kudos, Spirit. There's this part of you that feels like you're not allowed to have fun, but that's the exact opposite of what has to happen, right? And it's funny. I remember saying many times as a joke, and when I say joke, I knew it was a dark joke. So I knew I would knock on wood. I would even tell God, like, you know, please don't. But I get everything happens for a reason. But I used to make the statement, you know, by having 4 kids, that increased my chances greatly that I would lose one before I died. And I knew it, I think, inherently, you know, I knew it. But the point is, and I'm not trying to, you know, make anybody depressed or go into a bad place. I'm happy. And I'll say this as many times as it takes for me to get to my new normal. But I have 3 others. Like, in that same token of that, yes, I've increased the chances, I still have 3 others. And now I can't smother them. I can't, you know, but like, you know, his twin is having a lot of trouble. So part of my healing process becomes helping others get through it, because there's a lot of people are really destroyed by this, more so than I would have imagined or understood when my son was alive. But their twin is probably having the most trouble next to me. But part of what's going to help me get through the day is helping him get through his day. And in essence, for lack of a better term, focus my energy on helping him rather than, you know, helping me. And it's not that I don't need to help myself, but I already know the reality. Now it's just doing it enough days to where the pain has subsided enough that I'm in a new normal. And that, you know, some people understand this, but it's not going to matter. There's going to be times when, you know, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, that I'll break down and cry because I don't have my son. That's okay. You know, he meant the world to me, but so do the living ones. And on top of that, excuse me for coughing in your ear. On top of that, I have the other 2 that are like adopted brothers in the family, and then I have so many more. I have the person that tried to save Sky. She's now part of the family. Sky's girlfriend is part of the family. There's this whole group of mechanics that are all right around Sky's age. They're all considered family to me. Funny enough, his twin was like, "Everybody can't be family, Dad," and I was like, "No, anybody who treats me like family can be family, son." You know, it's funny because I used to be the one I used to say all the time, and I no longer say it, but blood is thicker than water. There's truth to that statement, but here's the clause. Okay. Blood is thicker than water, but some blood is watered down, and some water is as thick as blood. And what I mean by that, for anybody that doesn't get the metaphor, simply put, there's family that I wouldn't fucking cough a shit for, right? Like literally, because they're not there for me. They're not a part of my life. They only down, they're negative. Part of living, for lack of a better term, a stoic lifestyle and trying to be positive and pass on that positivity and spirituality and knowing of all this fucking shit, right, is that you leave the other stuff behind that is hurting you. And anything that is not positive basically is trying to bring you down. That can be somebody who's blood related. And at the same token, over here, you can have someone who's not blood that, they technically don't share your blood, but they are as strong, if not stronger, than most of your blood. Back in the day, we used to, and when I say we, I'm talking about people in general, would do blood brothers, because then you share blood if you felt that strong. There's somebody in my life that we talked about doing it. We just haven't done it, but we're going to, because I really like the idea of that. You do that. You really are saying, hey, we now share blood, and whatever you deal with, I deal with, and you are a member of my family as much as anybody who has my blood pumping through their veins. Right? I think it's pretty fucking cool, personally. So yeah, I've kind of thrown that blood is thicker than water. To me, what ends up mattering more is actions over words. Family, someone who's true family, their actions will show it. Someone who's not, so blood will show it. Water will show it. Everybody shows their true colors, and the ones that aren't there for you, which is a lot, I could sit here and be all kinds of angry. Right now, I've had a lot of things offend me when it comes to the world in general, right? And what I mean by that is the way that the world is treating my son's death. But it is what it is. He was my son. He wasn't the world's son. Number one, he wasn't a superstar. Number two. So, his circle was big, and I believe in 6 degrees of separation. And most people won't understand how it affects them. But the immediate effect is not, it's just not that big. And so when certain things happen, if it was the old me, let's just put it that way, I would get fucking angry and pissed off. And it's unfortunately what I see in his brother, because he's kind of in the phase now where he wants to blame somebody for it, like there has to be another explanation than him losing control or something like that, being by himself. His brother is convinced there was another car there and someone has hit him, right? It is what it is. It doesn't cure it, saying it is what it is, but it is what it is the reality of it. We don't have any footage. The 2 witnesses that gave us all the information are pretty credible people. There's not much more else. So I've been trying to get him to understand, like, focusing on that is just going to destroy him. But he is only 22, and he doesn't quite understand how that is, the reality. He even said to me, and I get it. I fucking get it. So I can't sit there and begrudge or belittle or judge any of that. I can't do any of that to him. He said it as simple as it is. And I love all my sons, but there's certain things I love each of them for. And one of the things that I love my firstborn for is that he really doesn't hold back even when the truth sucks. And he's like, being angrier is easier than being sad. Period. Got to give it to him. It's why, sad, it's the whole idea that it's easier to destroy than create, right? It's just the simple truth of it. And right now, that's where he wants to be, where it's easiest to be to deal with this. You know, he had a horrible day today. Ended up breaking down, and then after breaking down, some asshole pulled out in front of him, almost caused him to wreck, and he wanted to file a police report, which is so unlike my son. I was like, you did what? And he calls me, and I can't stop this shit from happening. I can't write this shit, but, you know, like when I go out and about, I think I've told the viewers before, but I have this one phone, right? And then I have another phone. This is the phone that goes with me driving, is the mini, only because I ended up getting a deal, and the line itself only cost me $10 more a month. So it's not like I don't pay shit for it, but it's like a private line, and I use that because it doesn't have the driving app, right? So when he calls me on this phone, the watch will ring, and I'll try to tell him, like, dude, I can't talk to you. I'm on the fucking watch right now. He's like, why do you even have a watch? We can't talk. I was like, so I don't miss a call, son, and can explain to somebody, hey, I'm in this situation, or I'm in this situation, and I'll call you back as soon as I can. But it's not really appropriate for me to be trying to talk like this while driving. So needless to say, when the call came in, it didn't start off good. And I was like, what? Had to call him back. That was frustrating. Then I stopped over there. We got into a fight. I felt like shit. I'm 50. I'm supposed to be the bigger, older, wiser father that doesn't allow my son to get under my skin. But damn, that kid is like a fucking tick, man. Just telling you, I love him so much, but he is the one that is just like me. The one that died is a lot like me, but he looks like his mom, favors his mom definitely, visually. And then he has, as the two of the brothers will even put it, he has more characteristics of his mother than his brother. And his brother is like a carbon copy of me, right? Oh, and I'm a dick. I literally have a fucking thing called flick dick, right? So let's just face it, I'm a dick. What do we got here? Oh yeah, are you talking about when you say dog show, are you talking about Best in Show? Is that the one you're talking about? Let me know if that's the one you're talking about. But I'm a dick, so dealing with myself is a real fucking pain in the ass, because I'm dealing with the 22-year-old version of me, where I was, and he's not far off from the 22-year-old version, which, I mean, balls deep in anger, balls deep in being a dick. Like, just in every motion without him even trying. I can't remember who said it, but someone was like, yeah, his body language is just shit. So he wonders why people don't come up to him, because he literally feels unapproachable many times. Like, he feels like, what's the word? It's not that he's unapproachable. It's that you almost get the feeling that if you talk to him, he's just going to jump down your throat, whether you know him or not. That's the easiest way to say it. So I love you, son. It's just the truth. So here we are. I'm getting ready to close this one out and call it a night. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate y'all more than you can possibly know. I appreciate the support. I appreciate, the new shares. I will say this. I'm toying with the idea, and I'm going to talk to a few key people, but I'm toying with the idea of doing like a fundraiser video, because we really are hurting. And I hate to say that, but between what's happened with his death and the loss of income that the family suffered, because even though he didn't live here, we were a family unit and we took care of one another. So when they were down, I took care of them, and vice versa. But the two people that made the most money in both households are gone. He died. I lost my job. And the investor that said they were going to invest, and I don't blame them, but for a multitude of reasons, being the biggest one, they spent the money somewhere else that they had to spend the money, are no longer investing. So I am toying with the idea of doing that. And I hope that anybody who watches understands that I'm not a beggar. I'm just kind of been, it's like a dog, and I'll go with pit bull since I've had more of them than anything else. But, I kind of feel like a pit bull in a corner right now. Put it that way. So there you go. Still going to continue doing this. I will be on again. Today is Wednesday, right? Yep. Be on again Friday. And then Friday is the 11th. Is that right? So 12:30 morning. And then Tuesday, I'm back on track 3 days a week. Yep. On the odds. So the odd days of the week, except for Sundays. Think of it that way. I am probably going to change the time. And I said this before, where I'll keep at least one show on 720. And if y'all want to just throw me some ideas of when you think would be some other, but I was thinking at least one day Spirit of 420 should go live at 420. I was kind of thinking like maybe Friday and Saturdays being 420, which would be 6:20 Eastern, 5:20 Central, and 3:20 Pac time, just so anybody in the other time zones understand where it is. But yeah, I was thinking about changing the times where, like 4:20 Fridays and Saturdays, maybe Mondays and Tuesdays, do my normal 7:20 time, because that's better, I think, being late on those days. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays, maybe doing like a 6:20 Mountain. Let me know if you think it's interesting. Either way, some changes are coming up, and the end of the season will be coming up soon, and I'll be dark until December 22nd, but that doesn't happen until December. We're still a ways off. So be on for at least another 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it is. I'll only take the last 2 weeks of the season off, and I run with the season. So, right now, we're in the fall season. So to blaze or not to blaze, there is no question. There is only to get high, to get by. I hope each and every one of you have a blessed evening. I also hope that you stay extremely lifted. I know that I am not as high as I need to be. So even while I'm doing this little closing, I'll take yet another hit. And know that I love each and every one of you. Each and every one of you are special. 6 degrees of separation is a real thing. Each one of us affect the other one, because it's such a small world. You don't even realize how small it is. And unless you fucking deal with aliens, and I know that like none of the people that I know do, don't worry about other aliens, other worlds, and all that shit. That's all like a joke until we learn how to get the fuck. Who the fuck thinks that we need to be intergalactic when we can't even be international? Please. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful evening. Have a great tomorrow. I will see you again on Friday. I love each and every one of you. Best in show. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one he was talking about there, Strange Bird. So y'all have a great evening. Talk to y'all again real soon. And with that, peace be with you.
You can't have my phone number unless we running up the digits. Let me meditate, I just need a couple minutes. Tryna low bump me, my cojones to the big ass. Bitch, I get high.